Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to all of my viewers and students. Welcome back to my channel. And this is basically third video related to the higher order construct. In the previous two videos, I have shown you that how we work with the higher order construct using first order construct and then move towards second order construct and validated the model with respect to performing confirmatory factor analysis with first order and second order construct. In this video I am going to elaborate that how we will perform a path analysis, and it is basically second stage of the higher order construct analysis. Now you can see here, this is the my base model that is I use in this study. Let's move towards our model analysis, and just for the sake of simplicity, let me hide indicators. This model, let me copy this model as I have run this model in my previous video, and let me again run this model with the using this type of higher order construct. And you can see here the some of the dimensions have the loading more than 0.70. It has a loading less than 0.70 for management conflict, and this, I think this dimension creating certain problem, and this one has a more loadings here. And for in okay, so let me run this model again and generate. We are now interested with the path coefficients, and then for definitely with the these loading value will be discussed in detail in this analysis. So I am moving towards the calculate and using consistent PLS SEM bootstrapping. And for bootstrapping it is on a 5000. Now PLS setup is on the path analysis, and just I click on the start calculation option. It will be executed in a minute, and the result will be generated here. I want to show that if we work in this setting, then the what would be the result, and if we use the second stage analysis, basically author says that there is a when we perform higher order construct, there are two stages. The stage one that I have explained earlier in my videos, in which we have used a number of items and perform their confirmatory factor analysis to validate the model fitness, like convergent validity and discriminant validity, etc. And the second stage we actually test the path analysis. Now for path analysis, again there is an issue that either we will work with the same dimension in same setting, because this for example this variable is also using these number of items, and by taking these number of item, it has an issue in our data analysis. In path analysis, the results could be different for under this setting. So it is recommended that we need to use second stage measurement model, by which we will work with the scores obtained of the latent variables, and then we will run the path analysis for each dimensions. So the results are here, and just I am for the sake of use, I am going to copy this image. Let me change here the values, path coefficients and their values. I am taking the path coefficient of each variable, their variables, although these all paths are significant, and hide the paths absolute value, relative absolute values. In their absolute value, the paths are highlighted which have a more diverse effect on one and other. So this will help us to examine the effect of each variable on other. I am going to copy this image, export as image, and we should be graphic to export it to as a clipboard, and just we open the Word file here, and here is the new Word file, and just I will paste the image here. Now you can say the image is exported here, and now the SmartPLS has a good graphics view when we present in our Word file. So let me save it here. Okay, now we move towards our SmartPLS version, and we obtain the path coefficient tables here also. Just copy this path coefficient to the Excel, and let me go to the Excel. First you need to copy the results in your Excel sheet, then you need to move into the worksheet, otherwise it will be not in a proper format. If you when you copy this result in Excel and then move towards Word, then the all the paths will be all the results will be in a proper formatting setting. These two are highlighted, that you can see here that the entrepreneurial orientation in this case has insignificant on a project success, while strategic renewal also has a significant effect on the project success by measuring. And the other thing, like here we are just consider the managerial competencies effect on this, and you can see that these are factors with their dimensions are also shown, and these all dimension have the significant effect there. So I need to save it here, and then you can just copy it here and paste into the your Word file with your diagram. This will also help you to copying and pasting the results and formatting accordingly. You can just click it here and auto fit to the contents, and here will be your results. Definitely you can format accordingly according to your uh, requirement. Here the table is. Now we move towards SmartPLS again and view on the graphical user interface. The results were definitely here the values were significant, and for direct path it becomes insignificant. This is called the first stage. And how we will move towards our second stage. For second stage you need to obtain the scores of these first order construct, and then we will use the scores of the first order construct as a second order, and rerun the analysis and find out the structural path results. So we are going to move back to main window, and here I am going to run calculate. Now you have to use PLSCM algorithm. When you will use PLSCM algorithm, you can obtain the latent variable scores here. If you use the consistent PLSCM algorithm, your latent variable scores will not be generated. You can see it here. For example, when I run PLSCM algorithm with the path analysis and standardized, and it is the result is here, but here is the latent variables, and latent variables correlations and covariances are there, auto weights are there, auto loadings are there, but there is no latent variable scores are displayed here. So I need to go back and rerun the analysis by taking PLS SEM algorithm. And when we perform the SEM algorithm setting at path analysis and other things remain the same, and just click on the start calculation option, and the result will be generated. The result is here. Now you can see the results might be have a little bit different values when we run with the consistent PLS SEM and PLS simple algorithm. So in the path coefficient analysis, you can if move towards below to the path coefficient analysis, here is the latent variables, and here is the latent variable scores. If you click on the scores, now the software smart automatically the score for each variable is generated, and a score for each variable is basically, for example, if the innovativeness has a 3 items, and using the in the background it basically run on the regression analysis. I think in MOS it works on a regression analysis method. Here I think it will also be on a regression analysis method, and on it extracts the score for taking 3 items for the innovativeness. Although innovativeness has its own score, but now the it will take the scores for innovative net will be measured through the 3 items, and entrepreneurial orientation will have also scored by taking these 6 items. So go to the latent variable and scores, and these are the score. You need to copy these score values in your copy to Excel, or you can copy to Excel, but no, SmartPLS make it easier to create a data file here also. Just by taking these score, just click on the create data file, and you have here working with which model. I am working with the higher order construct, and it should be remain there. The new data file will be created in this project in the same way. If I select any of other project name, then the new data file will be shown in that project. So I am working with a higher order construct, so I want to create a data file in this project. You can rename it here, and higher order construct derived from PLS result, it automatically rename. We can say higher order construct with latent variable scores, LVS, and just click on the manifest variable score and latent variable score. You can we are here interested in latent variable score, but most of the authors recommend that you can click on both manifest and latent variable scores to create your data file, but our interest is with the latent variable score. Click on the create icon. The data file is created, and then where it will be shown, you need to move back. Just save it here, and move back to main window, and you can see now here there is a data file with the higher order construct that we were using in at the start of video, and higher order construct with LVS is now generated. Now again we move with the copy this simple HOC model again, make a duplicate copy, and now I name it HOC working with LVS, with LVS latent variable score. This is basically second stage analysis. We are going to save this file, and now I will open this file, and here the file is open. Now we have generated the scores, and scores here you can change the data set. Here the first data set is represented higher order score. If you click the select data set, now the second order data file will also be shown here. Select on the higher order construct with the LVS, and these are renamed as the variable. LVS scores are mentioned here for each dimensions or each variable. The software automatically calculated. Your original data is also present here, that you used in your analysis part. Okay, but again when they in this data set, you can again see that there is a attentive one and attentive one. These are repeating items for data in this item. So we are just interested here in latent variable scores, and we will use it to analyze our second order construct. Now what we have to do, we need to do the now remove the these dimensions of the entrepreneurial orientation, innovativeness, and risk taking. Now innovative, where it is innovativeness, track the innovativeness to entrepreneurial intentions. And let me unhide the variables and move towards here. And the second was entrepreneurial and innovativeness. Oh, sorry, I do not remember which one it. Risk taking and innovativeness. So I need to remove the innovativeness and risk taking, and let me unhide this, move towards this, and we can also delete it here. All the items of the entrepreneurial orientation are now deleted, and just select the innovative and risk taking and drag to the um, entrepreneurial orientation. If you enlarge these items, you can say that these are representing the scores of the innovativeness and risk taking. Similarly, the dependent variable inefficiency is shown here. We can efficiency and impact on customer, efficiency and impact on customer. These two dimensions are used for the project success. You can track this one for managerial communication. Sorry, for managerial we used management communication. Is the items were attentiveness and communication. These two dimensions were used for the managerial. If unhide this and move towards bottom, and these other items are removed, and just we need two dimensions, that dimension scores that are attentiveness and communication. Now this become a simple model, and we need to connect as a moderating effect also here, and just now you can see that the all items are removed, and their score obtained score is used as an item for the second order construct, and this becomes now the first order construct, not a second order construct, because we are using as their score as their like we use the item for in this variable strategic renewal, like we use these three items, it becomes a first order construct. Now these second order construct also become first order construct, and we are using their scores. Now we will run again the model it here. You can use PLS SEM algorithm or consistent PLS SEM algorithm. I'm using consistent PLS SEM algorithm because this is representing uh, reflective scales. So we let me run it now with the bootstrapping to save the time. Path analysis bootstrapping is on a default setting. Just click on the calculation and it will be executed at this stage. And now we are conducting actually the path analysis, and here are the results. Now click on the path coefficient with their p-value, and R square is shown here, and outer factor is the t-value. This has not generated any result, and it is given an error. Let's do run it with the I think everything is okay, but let we run it with the PLS SEM algorithm and see what does it shows. Now the results are showing there, and these are the coefficients. The results coefficient or path coefficients are shown here, but we are interested in their probability value. This is the R square value. Now you can see here one thing again, that now the loadings of each variable can be seen here that loadings still it is communication is as a low reading loadings at the start we see that this variable may have certain issue and their measurement and it should be relooked, but for the sake of this video we are working going through this one. And this is the direct effect of the entrepreneurial orientation. This again I have to rerun it with the bootstrapping, and let be on the pause setting and just start calculation and see the result. The results are shown here, and this inner model is shown with the p-value. I am going to change into path coefficient and p-values, and for outer models it's set into the t-value, and the r square will not be shown in the bootstrapping analysis. You can now zoom in it here, and just I copy this image. Let me copy this image and paste into here, because I want to compare when we run it with the first order second order and without using a later score, and what is the difference between the result when we use it with the latent variable scores. So this information copied, and we can also copy the path analysis table and we can move it to copy to the Excel. And here I have let me paste it here, and definitely there will be now the dimensions direct effect are not shown. Every variables effect is shown on there, like this on 0.5 scale the entrepreneurial orientation as a still insignificant effect with using, and a strategic effect on project success is also insignificant in this case, and managerial competence entrepreneurial orientation moderation effect on is still insignificant. These results are insignificant. Entrepreneurial orientation has significant effect on this, and managerial competency has the significant on the project success. So here in when we use the first dimension, again we have that project success entrepreneurial orientation as the insignificant effect on the project success. But you can see here, if I can uh, let me hide these one sample mean or p-values should be remain there, hide, and sample mean, and hide this one, this. Now you can compare that the entrepreneurial orientation on project success has the value of 0.10, and here is the 0.96. if we round the value it becomes 0.91, and strategic renewal has impact on the project success is 0.049, and here in the strategic renewal has the effect on 0.044, about 0.005. There is a difference of 0.005. Similarly, for managerial competency on project success, it was minus 0.485. Here it was a 0.517, and managerial competency on sorry managerial competency on project success is a 0.485 here it was a 0.5. So there is a little bit difference when we use the method like in first case with using their latent variable with their items, and use this type of model. The results are a little bit changing, but when we use the same model with the latent variable score, and it is recommended by the authors that we should use this type of analysis for using higher order construct, because when we use this type of model then we have the definitely indirect or direct effect of the entrepreneurial orientations with their dimensions, similarly with their dependent variables, like project X dimensions and moderating effects also. So in this case, when we use latent variable code, we are just concerned or only the result will be generated for these specific variables that are used in this model. So this was all about the second order analysis part of this. In last video of the higher order construct, I will show you that how in a simple way that how we can run my base model working by using this data. And either because this was the basically the model was drawn for simple analysis to show you that how actually work, but I want to actually test this model that is with the all dimensions, and I want to work on this model, and I will show you that how this result for this model will be when we run it in a full set. Thank you very much.